Today is the first of our series of lectures introducing to the brothers and the sisters what the letters are. It's like we're trying to meet a group of visitors visiting us, and their names are the names of the letters of the Arabic alphabet. We want to get familiar with these letters because it will, inshallah, be like a primer, like an introduction to the repetition of the Al-Nuraniyah that will, inshallah, happen not long after we finish this series of lectures. My intention is that we will do this series of lectures for 4, 5, or 6 weeks, depending, inshallah, to introduce us to the letters, what their names are, what their shapes are, what they look like when they are connected to other letters, and how the vowels interact with the letters. This will be a good primer for anyone who intends to review Al-Nuraniyah later on, or whoever needs a revision of a previous study of Al-Nuraniyah that we've done in the past. Please get a copy of the starter book from Brother Handwriting if you don't have a copy, and also the sisters can send someone down to get copies from Brother Handwriting. There is a lot of handwork and written work with this, so whoever has a pen should use it, whoever has a pencil should use it, and there are pencils in front here. Whoever needs to write can come and get a pencil. We are going, inshallah, I want everyone to turn to page 19 of the starter book. Please turn to page 19 of the starter book and have a general view of those letters. Page 19 shows us the complete Arabic alphabet, all members of the Arabic alphabet visiting us, knocking on our doors, wanting to enter into our houses, into our minds. We will divide these letters into 2. We'll do the first half of them today, and next week we'll complete the letters, doing the other half next week, inshallah. So we will start using the first and second lines of page 19 and the first 3 boxes of the third line of page 19. So we're doing all of the first line of page 19, all of the second line of page 19, and the first 3 boxes of line 3 of page 19. We will get an introduction. These letters will introduce themselves to us. We will get to know their names, how their names are pronounced, and get familiar with these names. I say this because ultimately one of the tests that we would be facing would be identification of the letters without having anyone to write, to transliterate the name of the letter for you in English letters. We should be able to identify the letters without anyone writing the name in English letters. So that is the purpose of this level of familiarity. I have a sharpener, whoever needs a sharpener. Questions so far? Before we start, I want you to take a very close look at that first line. That first line has 5 characters, correct? That first line, you see 5 letters on that first line, correct? Do you observe a very faint line running across that row? Do you see a faint dotted line? Yes or no? Does anyone, and the sisters should also look, do you see a faint line running across? That faint line, believe it or not, is very, very crucial. I want you to pay attention to what each letter is doing on that faint line. That faint line, in Arabic, we call it a satr. Ultimately, we'll be able to read this without a satr, the baseline. That faint line they're looking at is called a satr, the baseline. I want everyone to pay attention to it. All of the letters have a kind of relationship with that baseline. So that even if you're reading scripts that don't have a baseline, it is always imagined. That baseline is always imagined, even if the text you're reading does not have it. And most halves that we have don't have that baseline, but it is imagined. It is expected that we know how the letters relate to the baseline. So today, we're doing the names of the first half of the Arabic alphabet, and the relationship of each one of them to the baseline. After which, we will go back and take a homework of handwriting, and we would write out all those letters, observing the baseline for those letters up to page 10. It'll be from page 4 to page 10, writing out all those letters for both the brothers and the sisters, inshallah. Questions so far? Yes. Did I make it up? Is it hard? Questions so far? All right, well, we'll begin. We'll start with the first line, and not only are we going to know the names of the letters, we're going to know the order in which they come. And so not only the names, but the order in which they come are all important. So starting from the first box, say after me, first box, line 1, first box, Aleph, Aleph, Aleph. Next box, Ba, Ba, Ba. Third box, Ta, Ta, Ta. Fourth box, Tha, Tha, Tha. Like the TH in think or thank you. Tha. Next box, which is the last box on the first line, Jim, Jim, Jim. Going back to the first box, first line, Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim. Going back, Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim. Good. First line again, Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim. Good. Who can recite the first 5 letters for us in order? Anyone? My young man. Yeah, go ahead, Hamza. Alhamdulillah. Who else wants to try? You want to try for me? For first 5. Go ahead. You don't know it? We'll learn it, inshallah. You want to go? Go ahead. Okay. Anyone else? In the back, please. Good.
Before we continue, notice what each letter is doing with the satr, with the baseline. Notice what each letter is doing with the baseline. Starting with Aleph, do you see that all of the Aleph is sitting on the baseline? All of the Aleph is above the baseline, correct? Ba, Ta, and Tha are like horseshoe shaped, like a little boat. But what distinguishes the Ba, Ta, and Tha are the placement of the dots, correct? Ba has its dot below the baseline, even though all of the horseshoe sits on top of the baseline, correct? Notice that is very crucial. However, for Ta and Tha, the third and fourth boxes, the two dots of Ta and the three dots of Tha sit inside, just above the horseshoe, and all of that sits above the baseline. But for the next one, which is Jim, only part of it sits above the baseline, correct? Right or wrong? Only part of it sits above the baseline. The curved part of it, the semicircular part of it, goes down below the baseline. This becomes important when we start to join the letters. But for now, just understand that the Jim that we see, it's the placement of the semicircle and the dot for Jim are below the baseline. One more time. Line number 1. Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim. 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 Questions so far? For those following us from the sister side, we're going to line number 2, and we have 5 more letters on line number 2. From the first box, line number 2, Ha, Ha, Ha. It is high-pitched. Ha. It comes from the middle of the throat, and it has a lot of air coming with it. Ha, Ha. This is the Ha that we have in the name Muhammad. Ha. This is the Ha that we have in the name Hakim. Ha. Okay. First box. Ha. 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 Second box. Line number 2. Ha. 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 Like you're clearing your throat. Ha. 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 This one comes from a higher place, also in the throat, on the top of the throat actually, and it is a little bit rough, not like the Ha that preceded it. This one is Ha, Ha, Ha. Next, third box, Dal, Dal, Dal. Next box, Dhal, Dhal, Dhal. This one is like the TH in father or mother. Dhal, Dhal, Dhal. Good. Next box, which is the last box on line number 2, Ra, Ra, Ra. I want you to slightly roll your tongue when you say it. Ra, Ra, Ra. The Ra is not smooth like the R in English, even though they may be interchangeable, but the Ra is a little bit rough and rolls a little bit in Arabic. Back to box number 1, line 2. Ha, 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 Kha, Kha, Kha. Dal, Dal, Dal. Next one, Dhal, Dhal, Dhal. Next one, Ra, Ra, Ra. Good. Questions so far? Now, describing each letter based on what it is doing with the baseline, with the satr. The ha does the same thing as jim does. Its semicircle cuts below that baseline, but it has no dots, as opposed to jim that has a dot inside that semicircle. The kha next to it, second box, the kha next to it, second box, has its own dot on top of the hook. The next two letters, dal and dal, they are very similar in shape, but the dot distinguishes one from the other. The first one is dal, and it has no dots, and all of it sits on the baseline. All of it sits on the satr. All of it sits on the satr. Correct? Next one is dal. All of it also sits on the satr, but it has a dot. That's dal, like the th in father or mother. Next one is ra. Ra has a little bit of roll when you pronounce it, and part of it goes below the baseline, correct? Pay attention to all of those. Okay. We're going to line number 3 for those sisters who are following us. We are going to line number 3. We're doing the first 3 letters of line number 3. First box, line number 3. Za, za, za. Next one, seen, seen, seen. Next one, sheen, sheen, sheen. Okay. Za, za, za. Second box, seen, seen, seen. Third box, sheen, sheen, sheen. On the screen, you can follow along also. Those letters are written for us. There's a picture of it on the board for us, except that on the picture we have on that board, there's no baseline, but you should be able to imagine what the baseline is by comparing that one to what you have in your starter book. Third line, first 3 boxes. Za, za, za. Second box, seen, seen, seen. Third box, sheen, sheen, sheen. First box, za, za, za. Second box, seen, seen, seen. Third box, sheen, sheen, sheen. Excellent. Questions so far? Yes.
Question was that. Is it like some people pronounce it Zay? Zay is incorrect, or is that correct too?
That's a very good question. It's a very good observation. Different teachers in different schools teach the pronunciation of that letter and with different names. Some teach it this way, which is za. Some teach it as zay. Some Arabic playful teach it as zay. And some places in some of the African countries, they teach it as zain. You may hear that letter zain. They may say the zain. All of that is the same. It's just the preference of whatever school or classroom you are in that you would follow. So in this case, we're going to ultimately, inshallah, transition to this Qa'inatu Nuraniyya. That is what they're teaching there, which is za. Also, they're teaching it as za in this book. So we're sticking to that only just for consistency. But it is possible that another brother or sister may say, no, that is zay. Yeah, it is also correct. Or another person may come and say, no, it's zain. Is also correct. So those are 3 different names given to this letter. But for the purposes of consistency, we're staying with the name za in this case. Question about that letter? Okay. Let's go to the beginning of line number 1 and revise that. Revise what we've done so far up to the 3rd box of line number 3. Going back to line number 1 for the sisters following us. First box, line number 1. Aleph. 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 Second box. Ba. 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 Third box. Ta. 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 Fourth box. Tha. 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 Fifth box. Jim. 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 Question so far? Second box. Second line, first box. Ha. 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 Second box, second line. Kha. 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 Third box, second line. Dal. 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 Fourth box, second line. Dal. 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 Last box, second line. Ra. 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 Go into the third line, first box. Za. 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 Second box, third line. Seen. 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 Last, third box, third line. Sheen. 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 Questions so far? Everyone open to page 4. Open to page 4. Aleph is traced out for us on page 4, correct? For the next few minutes, I want everyone to write in pencil over the gray, the 4 alephs that you see there. And the little thing you see on top of the aleph is a hamza. That is called a hamza. Aleph, a hamza will come usually with an aleph, or it may come with a ya or wa. But for now, we're putting the hamza on the aleph. So write the 4 alephs that are written on the first line in gray. Can you please write? Can you just write over those? The sisters do the same, please. Write over those for now. Take a few, 1 minute or so to do that. If you need a pencil, I have pencils here. So just write over those to get familiar with how the writing of the letter is. Over here, please. Let's do the same for ba and ta on page 5. Look at the gray structure, ba on the first line of page 5. Can you please trace out those 4 structures of ba on the first line of page 5 and do the same for the ta, the first 4 gray pictures of ta that you see on that first line for ta. So do those in the next 2-3 minutes, and then we'll move on. If you have any questions tracing those structures out, let me know, but it should be easy to trace them out. Try practicing writing from the right to the left all of the time. For each of those letters, try from the right to the left all of the time. Why? Because in general, all of the time, by standard, Arabic is written from the right to the left. So practice that. I'll have you flip the page to page number 6 for those sisters following us. Flip the page to page 6 and trace out the gray structures for Tha and Jim. 4 gray structures for Tha on page 6 and 4 gray structures for Jim on page 6, paying attention to where the dot for the Jim is in relation to the baseline on page number 6. Take a minute or so to do that for page number 6. If you have any questions, let me know. When you're done with that, and the sisters are also following us, I believe, go over to page 7. Go over to page 7 and also trace out the first 4 structures right over the first 4 structures, the first 4 gray structures that you see for Ha, paying attention to the Satr, the baseline, as well as Kha, paying attention to the baseline and what cuts the baseline and what doesn't cut the baseline. Please do that for Ha and Kha on page 7. Take a minute or so to do that. Let me know if you need more time. Questions so far? So we're tracing out Ha and Kha so far. Next, we'll flip the page. We're going to page 8. If you're done tracing Ha and Kha, please flip to page 8. And I want you to write over the gray structures for Dal, the 4 gray structures for Dal, and the 4 gray structures for Dal. Trace over the 4 gray structures for Dal on page 8 and trace over the 4 gray structures for Dal also on page 8, paying attention to the fact that the Dal and the Dal, they both sit on the Satr. You have a minute to do that. We're on page 8. We're tracing the structures of Dal and Dal for practice and familiarity to get to know these letters well. In a few moments, we'll flip the page to page 9, but take your time to finish the tracings for Ha, Kha, Dal, and Dal on pages 7 and 8. Questions so far? For the sisters following us, we're flipping to page 9. For page 9, we have 2 letters traced out for us. Ra on top and Za at the bottom. Please trace out the gray structures for Ra on the first line and the 4 gray structures for Za also on page 9. Trace out Ra, paying attention to where Ra sits on the line and trace the four gray structures for za, paying attention to how the ra and the za, how they both cut the baseline. In the to the right of every line, we have a diagram of what strokes to make. If you look in the big box for each letter, the author has given us how to write out each of these letters. So please trace out the four gray structures for ra and the four gray structures for za. Once you're done with that, and likewise to the sisters, please turn the page to page 10. Turn the page to page 10 and do the same for Seen and Sheen. Seen has four gray structures written on the first line. Please trace those out, paying attention to what part of Seen crosses the baseline, the satr, and what does not. And do the same for Sheen. Do the same for Sheen. Sheen has four gray structures written out for us. Please trace out Sheen, the four structures in gray. I give you a moment to do those, and then we can talk about the homework for us. Just to round up, I have a quick exercise for all of us for what we've done so far. What letter is this? Anyone? Correct? Kha. Why? Because it has this hook and it has the semicircle, and we know from the workbook that the satr is as such, so that most of the semicircle cuts below, correct? What if I did this and I asked you to name this letter? What is the name of this letter? Yes, please. Ha. I want to say it with the high pitch. Ha. 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 Like Hakeem. Hamid. So, ha. No dot. But the semicircle, most of it crosses the baseline, correct? What if I took this away entirely and I asked you, what letter is this? Anyone? Yes? This is dal. I want you to pronounce it with that extension. Dal. That is the name of the letter. Dal. It sits on what? On the baseline. It has no dot. Its companion is dal with a dot, correct? So far, so good? What if I said, what if I asked you what letter this is? Oh, you've answered. Go ahead. Is he right or wrong? This is right. Sheen. Sheen, correct? Most of it is above the baseline, but the little tail is below the baseline all of the time. Its companion is without the dots. And what is it called? Seen, right? Seen. So seen is without the dots, sheen is with the three dots. Correct? Pay attention to the baseline. Let's practice the order of those letters that we did so far, and then we'll talk about the homework for Saturday of next week. Please go back to page number 10 of your starter book. And let's read along, let's go over those letters in order, because not only is it important to know the shapes, it's good to know the order, the names of the letters, and the order in which they come in the alphabet. First line, first box, Aleph. Next one, Ba. Next one, Ta. Next one, Tha. Next one, Jim. Going back, Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. 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 Jim. Good. Second line, first box, from the first box. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Going back. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Going back. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Going back. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Questions so far? Any question? Last three on line number 3, which is the first 3 boxes. Za. Sin. Sheen. 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 We're back to the very, very beginning. Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. Jim. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Za. Sin. Sheen. Going back. Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. Jim. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Za. Sin. Sheen. Use your finger to follow as you're saying it with your tongue. Use your finger to indicate what your tongue is saying. It improves your eye to mind coordination, eye, mind, and tongue coordination when you do that. So let's go over those 13 letters that we did today. Point at the letters as you move along. Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. Jim. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Za. Sin. Sheen. Going back. Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. Jim. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Za. Sin. Sheen. One more time. Going back. Aleph. Ba. Ta. Tha. Jim. Ha. Kha. Dal. Dhal. Ra. Za. Sin. Sheen. Bi'idhnihi subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll stop here for today. And please go over the sequence of these letters. Also, what is going to help is carrying out the homework for each of the letters. So the homework for the brothers and the sisters is to fill out the rest of the workbook for each of the letters that we did today from pages 4 to 10. Pages 4 to 10. The rest of the blank spaces, please fill all those out. If you see me during the week, you can show me so that we can go over any corrections in writing and or pronunciation. The sisters that have the same homework, please write out each of the letters in all of the lines that you see for the first 13 letters that we've done today. Next week, inshallah, we will continue from the 14th letter. Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
I have one. You have a Quran class tomorrow morning? Inshallah?
Correct, yes.
So I can show you tomorrow morning?
Oh, yes, that's fine. Whoever wants to bring their homework tomorrow from amongst the brothers to show me, that's fine. The sisters can pass their homework to Brother Abdul Malik. I can look at those and give it back to them. But the brothers, there's a Quran class tomorrow. You can bring your homework tomorrow or anytime during the week. We can go over the homework privately. It's just the first 13 letters of the Arabic alphabet so that we can get very familiar with the calligraphy of each of the letters. Other questions? All right, we'll stop here for the time being. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa